and the road our continent walked with us on that journey. To leave weapons at home and not carry them in public. To respect our traditions like the traditions of Amabuto and not misuse these great heritage instruments in a manner that causes disrepute to our pride as South Africans. Let me be clear, the demands placed on our government to act decisively on the question of border management, on the national security issues that arise, on the strain on our people and our communities, at the confluence of unlawful immigration and all its manifestations, from human trafficking to illicit trade, from crime to the corruption of government officials in Home Affairs and the South African Police Service. These demands are genuine, and these demands are real, and the government is at work on every one of them. The NEC further calls upon the private sector, upon the employers, upon the recruitment agencies, upon every enterprise operating on the soil of the Republic to adhere without exception to the labor laws and to the immigration laws of the country. The recruitment of undocumented workers in order to suppress wages, to circumvent the Labor Relations Act, to evade the Basic Conditions of Employment Act, to undermine the sectoral determinations of the Minister of Employment and Labor, and to displace the rightful claims of South African workers and of legally resident workers on the job market is criminal. It is unpatriotic. It is a direct subversion of the laws of our country and of the spirit of national reconstruction that the Constitution of the Republic enjoins upon every sector in our economy. The ANC places the private sector squarely on notice. The ANC in government will pursue, through the Department of Employment and Labor and through the National Prosecuting Authority, through the South African Revenue Service, and through the Labor Inspectorate, every enterprise that profits from this practice. The cost of compliance with the law is borne by the lawful employer and by the lawful worker. The ANC government will ensure that those who externalize that cost onto our communities and onto our country pay the full weight of the law. The President of the Republic has announced the rolling out of 10,000 additional posts in the Department of Employment and Labor to be filled and trained as labor inspectors. The President of the Republic announced the rolling out of tens of thousands of additional posts, I wish to repeat, in the Department of Employment and Labor. These 10,000 new positions will be filled and trained as labor inspectors. There will be South African inspectors empowered to intercept the unlawful employment of any person not authorized by South African law to be employed by enterprises operating in our country. Where an employer is found undercutting our labor laws, the inspectorate will act. We ask our people once again to refrain from taking the law into their own hands. When we do so, we allow critics to call us names, shame us as vigilante society. The Border Management Authority has commenced a build program to upgrade at least 6 of our principal border posts and the surrounding infrastructure. The upgrade introduces technology and a modernized interface capable of tracking and tracing any tourist who overstays the lawful period of stay and any person who enters for a short-term stay and then declines to leave. The technology includes smart drone capability operating in real time, monitoring every kilometer of South African border. The Special Investigating Unit continues its mandate to rid the Department of Home Affairs of officials who place our people at risk by selling undeserved official documentation. The Hawks and the National Prosecuting Authority continue their cases. The work on the South African Police Service is publicly before the country on the television screens to read the service of bribe takers and of officers involved in syndicate crime and to move them from the service directly into the cells of the Department of Correctional Services. The NEC urges the Department of Home Affairs to consider, with appropriate agency, the reintroduction of quota limits on immigration intake. Our country must decide transparently and in the public interest how many additional persons that means at its disposal can lawfully and humanly accommodate. The instrument exists in our law, Section 19 of the Immigration Act, 13 of 2002, provides the framework. The NEC also encourages South Africans to engage in the public participation processes of Parliament on bills now before the legislature. Among these bills are bills that will protect the rights of every South African to create and to operate the enterprise. The constitutional right at Section 22 of our Constitution and bills that will close the route by which a person travels through several safe countries on the journey to our republic and only applies for asylum or refugee status on arrival here. The principle of first safe country is a principle of international refugee law, and the legislative reform now underway will give it operational effect in South Africa. And there are many examples we can give. When we got Palestinians coming to our country via Israel and dropped in our country, just like that. And therefore, this particular principle did not actually apply in that particular instance. So tendencies of infiltration and undermining our national security architecture must be taken into consideration. The President of the Republic of South Africa travels to Egypt for the mid-year coordination meeting of the African Union held at El Alamein from Wednesday 24th to Saturday 27th June 2026. The ANC, through the government of the Republic, will table at El Alamein the foundations of a continental compact on migration in Africa. Because the question of illegal migration